Hello everyone, my name is Bethany Dippendorfer and I'm currently in Tarleton State University in their teammate program going for teaching certification in high school mathematics. Today I wanted to discuss with you before, during, and after strategies for reading and writing that you can use in any content level. For today I just chose 3 strategies, one for beginning, or one for before, one for during, and one for after, that you could use in a math classroom setting. For my before strategy, I decided to use clustering. Clustering is similar to a web of sorts that you would use maybe to brainstorm for an essay. It's very similar. You give students a word that you want them to use. So for example, I would say algebra. And at the beginning of the year, you can tell them, write anything that you know about algebra. And they'll do names and they'll circle off different things that they feel involves algebra, and they can even branch off from the ones that they've added onto it. Or at the end of the year, you can say, all right, this is going to be your grand study guide. You give them the word algebra and they're going to expand on whatever they know. So I do have an example of what that looks like. All right, I hope you can see this clearly. This is an example of a clustering. So this would be one that you would use maybe for the end of the year. So you'd ask students, all right, let's start with algebra. And in this case, I went and I took each individual function and I said, all right, you can have logarithmic functions, radicals, linears, fractions, powers. And then I expanded off of each one of those. And that's what you want students to do. This way they're thinking about what they're getting ready to put on paper. This corresponds to writing in many ways. When you ask students to develop an outline or a brainstorming activity for students to write essays, this is what they should be doing, or an example of this. They can start with a certain topic. So like if you're debating between school uniforms and not school uniforms, you can put it in the center and have them expand off of their ideas. And that's what this is a great example of using. Another thing that you can use is for a during strategy is called double entry notes. I know it more as Cornell notes, and it's a type of note taking where you make 2 columns. There's a left hand side column and a right side column. In the left column is generally a little bit smaller, and you write all of the key terms or key concepts that you need to know, and then on the right hand side you write all the details about it. I do have an example for you that I can show you that is done for another algebra class. So this is an example of Cornell notes. So on the left-hand side, they've got terms or concepts that they need to be going over. And then on the right-hand side, they've got the gist of what it means. So for example, this one's solving systems of linear equations. So on the right-hand side, they're showing the steps that they could do to solve for those linear equations. Same thing for the graphing methods or the substitution method. They show an example of how the substitution method works. When students go through and do their writing, you want to make sure that they double check and make sure that they're still on point with each little concept that they need to go through. So using a version of double entry notes or Cornell notes makes a great way for students to double check and make sure that they're on the right track with their writing. And you're practicing this in math, which I think is pretty cool. The last thing that I have for you is an after strategy. And during the after strategy, it's something that I'm really passionate about, is exit tickets or exit journals. So this is my example of an exit journal. It's one that I created myself on a standard Word document. And in my journals, I want to know 3 things. I want to know what it is that they learned today that they didn't know before they walked into my classroom. I also want to know what were they able to clarify that they didn't fully understand before coming in. So something that we may have touched on last week or the day before. And the last thing I want to know, what is it that they feel like they need more time to work on? These questions are extremely important. Exit journals like these help students to come to a conclusion of what it is that they need. It practices their writing skills in little bits and pieces, but it is a great way to use as a reflection for them. Those are the 3 strategies that I would use in my math classrooms. I feel like they're extremely crucial to getting a better understanding of math and what we're learning in the class, just as well as it's practicing reading and writing skills, and they don't even know it. So I hope that this video taught you a couple little things that you didn't know, and maybe if you're thinking about how could you use it in your classroom, I've given you a couple of good ideas. Maybe it's not, used for math, but you could probably use it in other places too. So I thank you for watching this video, and have a great day.